Hey everyone, Chairman here, back with another Hololive deck profile. This time we'll be taking a look at the most popular deck strategy from the Hololive set, the Marine deck. But there's a bit of a catch, and that's because there isn't just one type of Marine deck. When I say Marine deck, I'm actually referring to a number of independent strategies that all effectively utilize the Marine finisher. Let's start by taking a look at the Marine combo and figure out why it's such a compelling pick for so many different strategies. Marine has a unique on-play effect, the first we've seen in Weiss Schwarz. You can choose to send a character from the stage to the waiting room to look at up to the next 3 cards of your deck. One of those cards can go to the hand, one of them can go to the stock, and the remaining cards are sent to the waiting room. From a resource perspective, this effect is similar to Draw 2, Discard 2, Blind Stock 1 effects, in that it doesn't increase the number of cards you have between your hand and your board, but it does refund half the stock cost, basically a 1 cost level 3. However, there are some quirks about modding that makes this on-play effect much better than just Draw 2, Discard 2, Blind Stock 1. Not only does it get to dig 1 card deeper and give you knowledge of what you're putting into your stock, but since it converts a card on the stage to a card in your hand, you can in fact increase your hand count by not replacing the characters you're removing with modding's effect. This is a great way to ensure you have enough cards to discard for effects like the Houshou counter by simply converting back row characters into cards in hand and then leaving the back row empty. On top of that, modding gives you the option to use characters on play, act, or on sent to waiting room effects for advantage before sacking them. An example of how useful this can be is her synergy with the 1-0 Polka. Use the 1-0 Polka to summon out any costless Hololive character from your waiting room, then use 2 moddings to sack both the summon character and the Polka. Moving on to her Climax combo. Modding offers a respectable on-attack burn 2 at a reasonable cost of 1 stock and 1 Hololive character discarded. Hololive as a set overall does not have strong finishing options, so modding's consistent and affordable burn 2 is on the better side of things. With only 4 stock and going into level 3, a modding player can achieve full combo of 3 attacks with 3 instances of burn 2. Combine that with how easy it is to find the modding Climax and other copies of modding with her on-play ability, and an excellent Climax profile, and you have the makings of a Climax combo that can truly go into any deck. With modding being such a flexible, consistent, and inexpensive finisher in every deck, modding decks get to spend their resources elsewhere, which leads to several main variations of modding deck ideas. I'll list a few of them here. There's memory modding, which uses the various Generation 5 cards that put cards into memory to build compression, along with the early play Polka level 3 healer that requires different name cards in memory to be played at level 2. This strategy eats up a lot of stock before level 3, which isn't a problem for modding decks. There's control modding, which uses the combination of level 3 Watame and 2-1 back row Towa to remove multiple cards on your opponent's board, whether front row or back row. This strategy also uses a lot of resources at level 2, but is incredibly strong against standby strategies. There's Kanata modding, which doesn't run a level 1 combo, and instead puts resources into the Kanata level 2 change combo and playing defensive counters like the Houshou counter. All of these decks benefit greatly from the fact that modding combo is low investment so that they can focus their resources on their pre-level 3 game plan. The deck that I will be profiling today is unlike these other decks, and instead takes the opposite approach to modding. Since the modding combo is so inexpensive, what can we do to make the finishing combo even more effective? The answer to that question is the event modding deck. By adding a few copies of the Generation 4 event to the deck and aiming for 8 or more stock by level 3, the modding finishing turn can increase its ceiling by 2 additional burn 4s before attacks. This puts the finishing power of the deck at a much higher level that competes with powerful finishing combos from other sets. Let's take a look at the deck list. We'll start with the level 1 combo, where you could theoretically run any combo you want. Though modding is red and the Generation 4 event is yellow, you have until level 3 to get both of those colors, so your level 1 combo is free to be in whatever color you desire. I've had success with Watame, Okayu, Botan, Pekora, and Fubuki, just to name a few, so there's a lot of viable choices here. For this profile, I'll be going with Korone for the benefits of the choice trigger as well as the synergy with cards like Matsuri and Rushia. Korone is significantly better than a normal on-reverse search combo because of her ability to stack all the searches onto a single reverse target, which is much harder to play around and better for compression since you won't be triggering in between searches. But feel free to build around whichever level 1 combo you like the best. Like most Hololive decks, the level 0 line of this deck starts with 4 copies of 0/0 Aqua. This card does almost everything you want a card at level 0 to do, and is always a great play going first or second. Although we do run more misses in this deck than a deck with no events, Aqua is still a must-have in the deck. I've complemented the Aquas with 3500 TD Drop Search Micos. You may find it strange that I would run so many drop search effects in a deck that already has a searching level 1 combo, but the reason becomes clear when we take a look at the next card we max at level 0. Level 0 Pecora. Pecora is a global 500 power back row that can get a marker from the waiting room on play. If it gets sent to the waiting room during your turn when it has a marker underneath it, it can revive itself as rested. This plays very well with both our level 1 Ruxia and level 3 Marines, but it also means that Aqua and Miko will be 4000 power at level 0, beating over popular 3500 profiles like Milim Chaser or Rudy Center Runner. The purpose of the Miko Drop Search is to be able to grab either the Aqua or the Pecora to help set up those 4000 power walls and start winning board at level 0. Miko can also grab the level 0 Korone Anti-Runner, which is also 3500 power by itself if you have 5 or more cards in hand. It's not uncommon for this deck to have a full board of 4000 power beaters on turn 2, making it difficult for the opponent to get any sort of advantage at level 0 with things like clean cuts or runners. The hand invested into this board is easily recouped with Aqua and our many advantage generating cards at level 1. An alternative to the level 0 Korone could be the Coco Clean Cut from the trial deck. Actually, in fact, a 1-2 or a 2-1 split of those cards enables you to use the Miko Drop Search to search for whichever one is better in the situation. Rounding out our level 0 count is 3 copies of Matsuri Brainstorm. A Salvage Brainstorm works best in a deck full of searching options, and her 1500 power pump to level 1s or higher helps our Korone swing over walls at level 1. At level 1, alongside our Korone combo, we have a variety of advantage generating cards to help us hit level 3 with a pile of resources to dump into the Generation 4 event and modding combo. 1-0 Ruxia is a fantastic card that requires no color to play from hand, even though she's green. On play, she can sack a character on board to reveal the top card of the deck, and if it's a Hololive character, we can add it to our hand. If it's not, it's probably a Climax, which gives us a guaranteed hit on our Brainstorm. By sacking the Pecora with a marker, the Ruxia is effectively a +1 to advantage since the Pecora comes back to the stage for free. Ruxia additionally can pump up to 2000 power on attack to another character, allowing Korone to hit 10,000 power with Climax Combo. We also run 2 copies of the 1-0 Mel. Whenever we use an act ability with Mel on the board, she gains 1500 power and the ability, on attack, reveal the top card of the deck, and if it's a level 1 or higher card, it goes to stock for free. On average, you have a bit less than 50% chance to hit a level 1 or higher card when using this ability going blind, but there is a case where Mel is guaranteed to hit, when Ruxia reveals the Generation 4 event after sacking a character. So, instead of feeling bad for missing, you can play a Mel, use Matsuri to pump 1500 to a character, and then attack with Mel to get the guaranteed +1 stock. Last but not least, 1-0 Pecora acts as additional copies of any of our level 1 cards in the waiting room, giving us easy access to the Korone Climax combo, Mel stock generation, and Ruxia power pump. This is another case where Korone combo shows off its versatility. We can use the Polka to summon a Korone that doesn't get power, then play a Korone from hand that does get power. Both Korones can stack the effect on the Korone played from hand so that you can get the value of 2 Korones even though one of them is base power and might not be able to reverse a battling opponent. We don't play level 2s in this deck, but there is room in case you want to throw in tech options like the 2-1 Miko. We do, however, have a variety of early play options. Suise is our early play healer of choice, and her field condition is even easier to fulfill with cards like 1-0 Polka. The combination of Watame and Ayame can dismantle any board that our opponent sets up, and the Ayame's ability to shrink 2 lanes gives us prime reverse targets for Korone to continue using her Climax combo for advantage. Watame is there for cards with Encore, or cards that your opponent will want to pay 3 stock to Encore if you shrink them with Ayame. Our level 3 lineup is simple and sweet. 4 modding combos, 2 events, and 1 Matsuri stock swap to beat compression. Let's run through the deck's game plan. For opening mulligan, keep at least 1 copy of every level 0 card, and try to discard characters and soul triggers in case we trigger an early climax. You can also keep the choice climax and 1-0 Korone if you happen to open them as well, although I would discard extra copies of the Korone in order to get key level 0 cards like the Aqua. Our level 0 lineup is fully equipped to dominate and shut down any kind of strategy our opponent presents, so use the beco drop search to grab the necessary cards to make favorable trades and win board. At level 1, we get access to our entire suite of advantage tools, which we can use to get a ton of stock and hand efficiently. If everything goes according to plan, we can use our surplus advantage to play a climax as often as possible and push damage, or we can stop clocking as early as level 1 and grow our damage lead that way. If things go south, then we can use all the extra advantage to mill out of a bad deck state and stay afloat. We more or less continue the same strategy at level 2 with the added tools of Watame and Ayame to stop our opponent from developing any significant board of their own. At this point, it's important to maintain the 8 stock minimum that we need for the full event plus modding combo. The moment we hit level 3, we can dump everything into the event modding finishing turn and hopefully secure a win. Do note that both the modding and the event requires you to ditch Hololive characters, so if you have extra climaxes in your hand, they will unfortunately not be able to be used as cost. So make sure there are no extra climaxes in your hand outside of the one that you're going to be using for the combo. Event modding is the highest ceiling for Hololive finishers, the maximum amount of damage that can be reasonably done in a single turn. And thanks to the efficiency of the modding combo and the rest of the deck, it's fairly consistent to pull off. Like most finisher-focused wombo combo decks, event modding is ride or die on killing your opponent the moment you touch level 3, and if they somehow live after the 8 instances of damage, then you don't have much in terms of follow-up. Because of this, it's important to keep the damage close and not allow your opponent to get significantly ahead in damage throughout the game. The finishing combo, while powerful, isn't the absolute best we have in Weiss Schwarz, and notably does not do well against compressed decks that can't be stock swapped out of. If one-turn finisher decks are not your thing, there are plenty of other modding variants out there to play and experiment with. Feel free to ask for advice in the comments below, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction. That's it for this video. Don't forget to tap the like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. Hololive season isn't even close to finished yet, so keep a lookout for more Hololive content down the line. See you next time.